Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another GCrypto video. I'm your host Seth, and in today's video, you guys, I wanted to talk to you about the 5 cards that I'm going to be purchasing for my Magic deck before going into this weekend rank. Welcome back, you guys. Before we get started and get into the video, do me a favor, right? Go down, like, subscribe, all the things. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see here from the channel, and thank you very much for doing that. All right, guys, so my last video, I talked about the 5 cards that I was purchasing this week for my Deception deck, and this weekend, I'm probably going to be toying with Magic going into the weekend because I haven't really gone into any of the weekend ranks recently with my Magic deck. It's been a long time since I dusted it off, and the meta of how Magic is used has changed since my last deck build. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is talk about some cards that I've been, doing some research on, studying, looking into, and I've seen in a lot of the new sort of aggro and control Magic decks that I'm going to go ahead and purchase before going into the weekend. So without further ado, you guys, let's just go ahead and get right into it. The first card that I'm going to buy, and I'm going to be purchasing 2 of these because unfortunately I do not have any, is the Sip of Elixir. It's a 2 mana cost card, and what it does is just unlock a mana lock. Now, Magic is so dependent on having enough mana to, cast your spells, to summon creatures. Usually what I've seen with a lot of control and aggro Magic, you're going for creatures that are a little bit higher mana cost. And so having that additional mana unlock, like the difference of 1 mana between you and your opponent, can be huge, much less if you have 2 of them in your deck and you end up with 2 more mana locks than your opponent has. It just gives you such a huge advantage. Magic is, as far as I know, the only deck that's capable of doing it, and so that's why it is so valuable. And at 25 cents, $0.25, Sip of Elixir is a really cheap pickup that you can get on either Token Trove or in the God's Unchained marketplace. Again, for 50 cents, you can all of a sudden have 2 cards that can give you a massive edge over your opponent. So that's why I'm going to be purchasing them before going into the weekend. Coming up at number 2, a card that I've been seeing a ton of use lately. It's in every Magic deck that beats me, and it's in a lot, I would argue, almost all of the top meta Magic decks right now, and that is the Lightning Talisman. But what's crazy about this is I think it's 2 mana cost, it's 0 attack, 3 durability, but every time that your opponent attacks you, it does 2 damage to the strongest enemy creature, 1 damage to the next weakest creature. And at only 52 cents from what I saw on Token Trove, that is such a cheap pickup for an awesome relic that just allows you to control the field and prolong the match so that you can get those Sip of Elixirs, get your manas unlocked, and get some of those big hitting spells out on the field. So awesome pickup, and again, at $1, you can, for basically $1, you can get 2. Awesome addition to the deck, and something I'm going to be picking up. Next up, we have the most expensive card on my list, and that is the Faraday Cage. Now, Faraday Cage, I believe, is 4 mana cost, and what it does is you choose 1 creature. Basically, the idea is it creates a protective cage around them, and you deal 2 damage to every other creature. Now, this can, of course, kind of dick you if you have a lot of creatures on the field, but if you've just got 1 creature and your opponent, say you're playing something like War or Nature that can field a ton of creatures, coming up against a Nature, they drop a Blade Fly, they've got their Wild Hog, they've got their Pyroshell Beetle or their Marshwalker, whatever. You can use the Faraday Cage to drop 2 damage on all of your opponent's creatures, hopefully get some board wipe going, and just an awesome addition and an awesome card to have in the deck. In addition, with Magic, if you've got someone with Spell Boost, that 2 damage becomes 3. If you got 2 Spell Boost, that becomes 4. You get the point. It can be a very, very powerful card, especially when you stack on some Spell Boost to the card itself. Next up, I have one of these already. I'm going to be picking up a second one, and that is Unannounced Arrival. It's an awesome card. You can delve a 4 mana creature and summon it for 4 mana, but if you're really looking for a specific creature and being able to just summon it from your deck with this additional card is awesome. And next up, at 8 mana cost, a card that I have seen and that I really want to get a copy of, especially because it is surprisingly cheap, is O Fortuna. It's 8 mana cost, and it only comes in at $1.14 on Token Trove, similar price on the God's Unchained marketplace. It's an 8 mana cost card. You deal 4 damage to a creature, 4 damage to its god, and you draw 4 cards. At 8 mana cost, it's pretty steep, but if you get those Sip of Elixirs going, you can get it on the field relatively quickly. And again, 4 damage, 4 cards, protected and ward to your god, and 4 damage to your opponent's god. So it's a removal, an attack on the god, and you get to draw 4 cards. It's a win-win all around. And again, surprisingly cheap for a card that is as well as it is. I've seen it in a couple of the decks that are at the top of the Mythic meta right now as far as Magic goes, and that is why I'm going to be picking one up, especially at that price, for this weekend. But that's it, you guys. Today's a quick one. I won't be showing any gameplay from my Magic deck until I go ahead and pick up those cards, so you can probably expect some gameplay from me for that video next week. But that has been it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much. Be sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know if you want me to cover any of the specific cards that I'm going to be purchasing next, whether that's War, Nature, Death, etc., Light. But let me know which one you want to see next, and let me know what else you want to see from me here on the channel, because I love this game. I love doing these videos and making them for you guys. So thank you guys so much for your support. Appreciate you very much, and don't forget to game it till you make it. Catch you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.